simple memory, the simple fact that your heart opens up and says, this sounds familiar, is not enough for you, so I have to equip the message with coordinates that are linear and grounded for everyone to rationalize. So here's the truth. The truth in linear consciousness. Within the biblical archetype, there is an individual named Abraham. This individual's name was initially Abraham. He wasn't Abraham. Abraham was a consciousness that predated him a long time ago. There was no Abraham. He was born Abraham. And when he got to a certain stage, and he couldn't have children in the archetype, and he was a master of astrological sciences. And he was taken to the top of the mountain, he said, look at the stars. And he says, yep. I know you promised me that great nations are going to come from me and I'm going to have children and a legacy, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And the voice comes out and says, the angel, speaking the language of all source, tells him that's because you're looking for Abraham, and henceforward your name is Abraham. Now go check what the stars say about Abraham. And the progeny was too numerous. The progeny was too numerous to account for. And similarly to his wife, who was Sarai, became Sarah. And so for Abraham, they added the letter He. The letter He is 5, the 5th letter. And it represents love. They added unconditional love. Added the ingredient of unconditional love, 5. 1 corner, 2 corner, 3 corners, 4 corners, I in the middle, broadcast in all directions. That's called love. I broadcast that space in all directions. I add that unconditional love to the equation, then infinity is possible. Similarly, his wife was given also He, was given the 5 points of unconditional love added to her name, that when she internalizes these coordinates and actualizes them, then miracles do happen. What is a miracle? Is it more of a miracle for me to talk? Is it more of a miracle that I don't even exist? This looks solid, but if you go in a microscope, you'll see nothing's touching each other. And the two of them never smash into each other, and they're going super fast. That's not a miracle? It's silly. It's all relative. The question is, miracles happen. Miracles are a prediction of deliverance, and deliverance manifests. That is a miracle, where there's a prediction. The prediction, where behind the veil they plant their flag. You know, like the U.S., they go to the moon, they plant their flag, this belongs to us, and behind the veil they go, yup, heaven belongs to earth, and earth belongs to heaven, we are family. So every individual has the power to change their name, and they don't have to change their name to do it. They just have to add a He. They just have to add unconditional love to what it is they resonate. And the astrology and the predispositions are obsolete. Completely obsolete. Completely obsolete. Now, I'm talking with children. You can have children who are developmentally challenged, You could talk about children that this child was said, you just store him in a home. He'll never amount to anything. You add unconditional love to the equation, you will see drama in the eyes of the professionals. And the stress that they have, for the guilt that they carry for all the people they advised because they were ignorant of the power of true love. And for the first time they're studying this. For the first time they're studying the power of true love in our modern era. And you know what? They're not as arrogant anymore. They spent decades studying people that were sick. They never bothered studying healthy people. You're trying to get them healthy. Why don't you study healthy individuals? Why don't you study individuals who are aligned, who are productive, who are fulfilling their dreams? Study those people. Why do you draw all your medicine from the imbalances? How in the world are you going to arrive at the balance? Like Sherlock Holmes, you're going to hit every single suspect and every mistake along the way and kill and make people suffer all along the path so you can have your pride? So you can have your arrogance that you discovered it by yourself? He's a fool. There's not a single scientific advancement that didn't happen by mistake. They discover it and stumble upon it because it was time. And he's not an individual who creates or comes up with something and puts his little copyright on it. You think you created that by yourself. Took a picture of the sun. Well, who owns the sun? Don't they get any percentage? Like the collaboration, like you think, oh, I felt very aligned in the flow that day. You think you're all alone. It's folly, it's arrogance. It's arrogance. You don't believe me? Go on the phone, do some sales calls. Don't believe me? Go do sales calls. Anybody who wants to test this phenomena, go do sales calls. Call people and allow them to broadcast their frustration at you. And I'll sit with a clock and I'll see how long it takes till you channel those energies into your home. And you give it to your wife, who gives it to your child, who gives it to the dog, who gives it to the cat. It wasn't me. I had a hard day. The problem is that you don't know who you are, because if you knew who you are, if you completely were intimate and aligned with who you are, you would cut it off and create a border before it takes root in the abstract, before they enter into your tier of form, into your style of thinking. I don't think that way. I'm not so critical. That's that one. That's that one's energy. Bumped into him today. That's not me. Bless you. You're forgiven. Everyone's loved. I'm returning this back to you. When you reach humility, it will hit you like a ton of bricks. Hopefully you'll recover and you'll start to remember.